Hi dear colleague and welcome to this new video. This is a different video than you're used to, but in this video I would like to show you what is in my camera bag, the 2022 edition. Let's get started. I get a lot of questions from colleagues. What kind of camera do you use? What is your setup? What do you use for interior photography? What do you use for posterior photography? Well, I would like to talk about that in this video, but I would also like to give you an insight in my camera bag. I work in two different practices, and that means that I have to take all my stuff from the one practice to the other multiple times a week. Well, I need a bag for that. The bag that I use is the Lowepro ProTactic 450 AW. That is this bag, and it's a beautiful and super handy bag for photography. If I open it up, you can see that it has all those compartments where I can put in my cameras, my lenses, but also other attributes. And I would like to show you what I put in this bag. First, let's get started with my camera. For the posterior setup, I use this Canon 80D. You can see it over here, the 80D, with a 60mm macro lens and a Canon MR14EX2 ring flash. This is my go-to setup for posterior photography. Due to the 60mm, I can get really close to the subject, which means that my light is really close, and I get really beautiful photos with great lighting and not your standard ring flash photos. I will show some examples of my ring flash photos for the posterior setup right now. When we talk about the interior setup, I use a whole different camera. As you can see, I'm using a Canon 90D. You can see it over here. I have a 100mm macro lens by Canon. I have two Canon 270EX2 flashes mounted on an owl bracket. You can see the owl bracket over here. And I have these LumiQuest Ultrasoft pocket bouncers. I really like these LumiQuest Ultrasoft pocket bouncers, but there's one downside to them. They attach with Velcro, and as you can see, they're hanging loose all the time. I have a different attachment that I can put on the front here, but still, it's not the most sturdy setup, but it makes beautiful photos. So that's the most important part for me. Let's have a look in more detail. Here you can see the camera. The camera is just a standard 90D, nothing special. It's a APS-C sensor, so it's a crop camera. And then I have the owl bracket. The owl bracket, I attach it with this middle part, and by doing it this way, it's really easy to attach and detach the camera from the owl bracket. The owl bracket has these mounts on the bottom that I can easily click on, and then I have these Canon flashes with the Ultrasoft pocket bouncer. I will show you some pictures of this setup so you can see what it looks like. I'm super happy with the setup, but I know there are so many different setups you can use, and I see a lot of beautiful photos on Instagram. So this is the setup that works for me, but it doesn't mean that it's the best setup out there. Well, those are not the only things that I have in my camera bag. There are also a lot of other attributes that I have in my camera bag. I always have spare pocket bouncers, always handy when a part tears, because they easily tear. You can see that this one is already broken. This one lasted me around 1.5 to 2 years. So I recently replaced it, but I still have it as a backup. I also have some backup speed lights. I actually borrowed these from a colleague. They are still in my bag, and I use them as a backup if there is a problem with my own speed lights. I recently forgot them, and then I was really happy and glad that I had these in my bag, so I could still document my case. In my bag is also my cross-polarized filter. This cross-polarized filter is by K-Dental. It looks a lot like the Polar Eyes and it attaches onto my posterior setup. So you can see that there are some magnets on the front of my ring flash, and right now it just attaches with some magnets. So it's really easy, really handy to use. I can take the photo, take this off, take another photo, put it back on. Yeah, really easy. Besides that, I also have some contrasters, some lip and cheek retractors, standard in my bag. I have them on both practices, but still it's very nice to always have them with you. For example, if I just want to take a photo of a colleague right now, I can just do it because everything related to photography is in my camera bag. Besides the cameras, I also have my loupes in there. Here I have the Brian Dental 7.5 regular loupes with the Ignis Lite with some spare batteries. I always have some spare batteries. I have around 4 batteries, so I never run out of battery. This one is always in my camera bag, but there's more because I also have the new Brian Dental refractive loupes. I will show you. Actually, I'm not going to show you. Okay, so besides the camera, the retractors, the contrasters, my loupes, I always have some spare rubber dam clamps in my bag. You can never have enough rubber dam clamps, and if I run out of any clamps, I always have brand new ones in my bag. So that's super handy to have. What I also have in my bag, and that's a fairly new item, are these burrs by Microcopy. Microcopy is a company that approached me, and they have burrs that are used for single patient use only. They are pre-sterilized and they are meant to use in one patient to avoid any cross-contamination. Since I am testing these right now, I have a large amount of different burrs from them in my bag, and I can grab them if I want to test them on a patient for a certain case. So those are a fairly new item in my camera bag. I also have these FlexiBuff polishers, the FlexiBuff Mini. These are these really nice polishing discs that you can use to get a better shine on your anterior restorations. I always have a spare pack in my bag just in case we run out of them in the practice. In my bag I also always have the chargers for my batteries. These go in the flashlights, in the ring flash, so these are really essential, and I always have the charger for the batteries because we don't want to run out of battery during a case, so these are also essential items. Another essential item is these calipers. I use these calipers to measure the thickness of a cusp. I do have these in each practice in the drawer, but if they are missing or a colleague just borrowed them, I always have a backup. What I do with this, I just measure how thick the cusp is, and then I know if I need to overlay it or not. So also nice to have it as a spare part in your camera bag. Other parts are the microfiber cloths to clean my lenses, to clean my glasses, just to make sure I don't have any spots on there, because if there is a smudge on your lens, you can see it in your photos, so also a really essential item. And last but not least, some spare batteries for my camera, some spare batteries for my flashes. So these are also essential items to have. As you can see, there are a lot of items in my camera bag, and the reason that my camera bag is so full is that I have to bring my bag from the one practice to the other, and there are some moments that I forget stuff in the one practice, and that's the reason why I have a lot of backup. So I have spare batteries, spare flashes, spare pocket bouncers, just to make sure that I can still document my cases even when I forget stuff. So here you can see the contents of my camera bag. Here you can see the 90D, the 80D, my Brian Dental 7.5 loupes, my spare batteries for my loupes, for my camera and for my flashes. Here you can see my ring flash, here you can see the chargers, the the polarized filter, the pocket bouncers, the spare pocket bouncers. Here you can see the speed lights, my normal ones, my backups, and my owl bracket. So this is the contents of my camera bag. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions relating to my camera bag, the 2022 edition, please let me know in the comments and I will try to answer all your questions as good as possible. If you would like to know more about the cameras, I can always make a different video about the setup that I use with the settings. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to know more about Karma, check out www.karmadentistry.com. Or if you would like to know more about me and about my cases, check out this YouTube channel or have a look at my Instagram account @TheDentalDutchman. See you in the next video. Bye!